Everyone knows crying out loud at a British funeral is disrespectful, but I let my husband's adopted sister wail anyway. Why? Because in my past life, my husband had a distant relative who was a British noble. When he passed away, the lawyer said my husband could inherit his fortune and invited him to the funeral. His adopted sister Chloe insisted on tagging along to see the world. But really, she wanted to curry favor with the aristocrats and show off. Her plan? Cry her eyes out at the funeral to attract attention. I tried to stop her. British nobles hate dramatic scenes at funerals. Forget the inheritance. We'll probably get kicked out, Chloe cried, accusing me of looking down on her and thinking she wasn't good enough to mingle with nobility. She ran out of the venue and got caught in a riot, where she was accidentally shot and killed. I thought my husband would be devastated. Instead, he silently attended the funeral and inherited the fortune. 6 months later, on our anniversary, he took me to a snowy mountain for a photo shoot. The moment we got up there, he stuffed me into a sleeping bag and tied it shut. If you hadn't made a big deal out of nothing, Chloe wouldn't have run out and gotten killed. I was buried alive in the snow, freezing to death while my husband used the inheritance to become a CEO. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day Chloe insisted on crying at the funeral. Sis, why won't you let me cry? The Duke had no children. What's wrong with me shedding a few tears for him? Sitting in the car on the way to the funeral, hearing Chloe's familiar whining, I realized with a jolt that I had been reborn. Chloe's eyes were red. She hadn't even started her performance for the Duke yet, but she was already playing the victim with me. My mother-in-law hugged her, shooting me a glare. A noble's funeral is full of important people. What's wrong with a little crying? Maybe someone will see her kind heart and a rich suitor will come knocking. Seeing she had backup, Chloe stopped hiding her intentions. She checked her eyeshadow in the mirror. I've been practicing my makeup for a month. Today I'll look so pitiful and beautiful when I cry. Sis is just jealous because I'm young and pretty. She's afraid I'll outshine her in front of the nobles. Yeah, Chloe had been preparing for this day for a long time. She spent a fortune at top beauty salons and even took acting classes to learn how to cry beautifully. I sneered, my eyes full of mockery. You're going to a funeral, not a speed dating event. Dressed like that? Are you afraid people won't realize you're fishing for a man? Chloe looked like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. She started sobbing. I researched the Duke's life. I hired a writer for my eulogy and memorized it. Is it so bad to let the Duke know he has family from abroad who cares? You just look down on me. My husband Ryan chimed in impatiently. Nancy, what is wrong with you? It's not enough to cause trouble at home, you have to embarrass us abroad too? Chloe put so much effort into this. Maybe she'll make us look good. And you? What do you do besides pick fights? Ryan had always been like this. He spoiled his adopted sister and always assumed I was bullying her. No matter how ridiculous Chloe acted, he never disciplined her. Instead, he forced me to cater to her. In my past life, I emphasized that wailing at a British noble's funeral was highly disrespectful. My father-in-law needed money for surgery. The inheritance was our only hope. If we disturbed the peace of the deceased and annoyed the guests, forget the money. We'd be thrown out. But Chloe was stubborn. She insisted on crying. When I couldn't persuade her, I physically covered her mouth to stop her. Chloe was furious. She ran out crying and was killed in a riot. Ryan got the inheritance, but he blamed me for Chloe's death and pushed me off a snowy mountain. This time I was going to watch Chloe dig her own grave. She could cry all she wanted. If Ryan didn't get the inheritance today, his father wouldn't have money for surgery. Then they'd really have a funeral to cry at. After we entered, a server noticed we were foreigners and explained the funeral procedures, adding a reminder. According to British aristocratic custom, loud crying is not permitted at the funeral. As soon as the server left, Chloe raised an eyebrow. She's just jealous because I'm prettier than her. She's afraid her master will like me. My mother-in-law nodded eagerly. Those women serving nobles. They're all scheming. I couldn't help but laugh. Chloe was way too confident. Did she really think she was beautiful enough to make every woman in the world jealous? Seeing me laugh, she seemed to realize something. You were chatting so happily with that server. Did you bribe her? Just to stop me from crying? You really went to a lot of trouble. Ryan yelled at me too. Nancy, behave yourself. Prince Charles is attending today. If you mess up my inheritance, I won't forgive you. Hearing Prince, Chloe's eyes lit up. My mother-in-law warned me, Nancy, don't cause trouble. If you ruin my chance to be a prince's mother-in-law, I'll make Ryan divorce you. I found it hilarious. Did they really think Chloe had a shot? One look and Prince Charles would fall for her? Knowing royalty was present, she still dared to use a funeral to hook a man. I waited for the inevitable disaster. As more guests arrived, Chloe approached every eligible bachelor to shake hands. Using her broken English accent, she tried to charm everyone. Suddenly, she clutched her chest, pretending to be short of breath, and turned to me. Sis, go to the car and get my spray. I'm afraid I'll hyperventilate later. She needed to prep her throat for the wailing. I went to the car without thinking, but as soon as I got in, my hands and feet were tied. Bang! The door locked. Chloe looked at me through the window with disdain. You kept stopping me because you're afraid I'll marry a noble and be better than you? My mother-in-law gave me a cold look. You're married and washed up. Today there are so many young talents for our Chloe to choose from. Seeing Ryan standing there doing nothing, I glared at him. You're letting them lock me in here? It's hot. Do you want to suffocate me? He frowned, scolding me impatiently. Stop playing the victim. I'm tired of you competing with Chloe. Stay in the car until the funeral is over. He turned and left. Chloe was still fixing her makeup in the side mirror. Watching her cake on the powder, I couldn't help but sneer. Put on any more powder and people will think it's your funeral. She frowned, then smirked. Sis, you should be hoping I catch a rich husband. If I don't find a good one, I wouldn't mind stealing my brother. Since Ryan pushed me off that mountain, I saw through his sick feelings for Chloe, blaming me for her death, killing me. On the surface, he was my husband. Deep down, he only cared about his adopted sister. I looked at her and smiled. Steal him? I don't want that trash anymore. He's yours. Once the funeral started, Chloe began reciting her eulogy. At first, it was just soft sobbing, but soon it escalated to uncontrollable weeping. People around her stared, but Chloe didn't notice. She thought their shocked looks meant they were moved by her grief. A gentleman handed her a handkerchief as she stepped down. Chloe's eyes lit up, thinking he was hitting on her. Her crying got even louder, tears streaming down her face. The woman next to the gentleman sneered and poked her. You're from abroad, so maybe you don't know our rules. But at a solemn occasion like this, who are you performing for? Chloe assumed the woman was jealous and immediately snapped back. You're not sad about the Duke's death, so you think tears are worthless. You're cold-blooded. You have no right to teach me rules. After her retort, Chloe realized that her crying worked. It attracted a man and made a noblewoman jealous. She was convinced her plan was working. She grabbed my mother-in-law and they started wailing together, louder than a street vendor. The guests frowned. Afraid of trouble, someone asked the priest to intervene. They thought maybe he could explain the customs to this foreign woman, but just as the priest raised his hand to comfort Chloe, she looked up, saw an old man, and shoved him away. The priest's face darkened at the rude gesture. He warned sternly, "Stop crying. crying. Our noble funerals require quiet mourning. This behavior is disrespectful to the deceased. Chloe decided this old man was just picking on her because he couldn't take advantage of her. She snapped, God teaches compassion, but you cling to these dusty old rules. Not letting people cry? Why suppress human nature? The priest was stunned, speechless by her logic. Seeing everyone looking at her, Chloe felt triumphant. She thought her unique perspective and eloquence had impressed the crowd. As for the unfriendly looks, just jealous women. She whispered to Ryan, bro, cry. See? Everyone admires me. Don't you want to meet nobles? This is your chance. Hearing there was profit to be made, Ryan started wailing like his parents had died. At that moment, I was standing on the second floor, having been rescued by a noble. I watched Chloe and the family put on their show. Those idiots were crying so hard they didn't see the noble's face on the balcony turning black with rage. The real show was just beginning. The wailing made it impossible to proceed with the ceremony. The Duke's head housekeeper couldn't take it anymore. She approached Chloe. Miss, you didn't know the Duke, so you don't understand him. I served him for 40 years. In his later years, he always said he hated crying and performative grief at funerals. Chloe assumed the woman was just a bitter servant who didn't get any inheritance. Some people serve for 40 years just for a paycheck. No status, no name. What do you know about the Duke's suffering? The Duke died alone. And you, who were with him for 40 years, are so cold-hearted? Her words were like a knife, making the housekeeper's eyes red. Unable to contain her grief, the housekeeper turned to leave. I saw this and chased after her to comfort her. Chloe saw me and yelled, why are you everywhere? Escaped already? Sucking up to a servant? What good will that do you? I glared at her with contempt. Chloe had the nerve to say she knew the Duke's life. She didn't know that this housekeeper was the person the Duke respected most. She was the first in line for the inheritance, but she remembered the Duke's kindness. Thinking she was too old, she declined the inheritance, leaving it for those who needed it more. And yet Chloe dared to insult her publicly? Once the housekeeper left, Chloe saw no more obstacles. She waved Ryan and her mom away. She knelt and hugged the Duke's coffin, crying her heart out. She was determined to make sure Prince Charles saw her deep affection the moment he walked in. Her behavior was so ugly that the lawyer who invited us panicked. Stop howling. Prince Charles will be here any minute. He cares about etiquette. If he sees this, he'll throw you out. Chloe exploded. You're a lawyer, lying to the heirs? Using the prince to scare us so you can steal the money? The lawyer choked, eyes burning with anger. You're disrupting the funeral and disturbing the Duke's peace, and you accuse me? Chloe scoffed and ignored him. She looked up and saw me going upstairs with the housekeeper. She seemed to realize something. She rushed over to block me, hissing through her teeth. So that's it. You got all these people to stop me from crying. You're afraid I'll shine in front of Prince Charles. I smirked, mocking her. You look like a cat in heat. Do you think anyone wants to see you howling? Chloe shook with rage. Her eyes darted around, and she deliberately twisted her ankle, tumbling down the stairs. Landing on her butt, she started wailing loudly, using every trick in the book. What did I do wrong? Why do you treat me like this, sis? The guest's eyes turned cold. Great. Crying wasn't enough. Now she's playing the victim. Are you that jealous? You had to push her here? You've embarrassed the Luo family. Ryan rushed over, cursing me. Not satisfied, he slapped me hard. Prince Charles is almost here and you're causing drama. Get out! Now! My mother-in-law and Chloe lunged at me, dragging me towards the door. My arm hurt from their grip. Stop! A low shout froze everyone. The crowd parted and the only sound was leather shoes on the floor. A man wearing a royal crest walked out. His aura silenced the room. You violated the taboo of wailing at the altar and now you're using violence? I don't think you need this inheritance. Chloe and Ryan went pale. How did they run into Prince Charles while dragging me out? Ryan panicked and stammered, Prince Charles, you misunderstand. This woman is making a scene. We're helping maintain order. Prince Charles scoffed, pointing at the door. Do you think we're blind? You're the ones wailing and disrupting the funeral. Maintain order? The ones who should leave are you mannerless people? Not expecting such a harsh rebuke, Ryan's face changed colors. Chloe sat on the floor, holding her ankle, tears flowing instantly. Prince Charles, look! She pushed me. My ankle is sprained. She bullies me like this and you protect her? She thought her pitiful act would soften his heart. But Prince Charles looked at her like she was a clown. Finished crying? Go cry outside. Our funerals do not allow wailing. Humiliated, Chloe's face burned. She turned to me, pointing a shaking finger. It's you. You're behind this. You're amazing, huh? Getting to the servers and the prince, spreading rumors about me beforehand. I glanced at her coldly. I don't have that kind of influence. You flatter me. You didn't listen to advice, caused trouble, and now you blame others. Prince Charles shouted angrily. Silence. You were the ones wailing. You were the ones dragging her. Twisting the truth here? Do you think everyone is stupid? Seeing the prince's dark face, Chloe panicked. Prince Charles, we're from another country. We didn't know the custom forbids crying. The noble woman from earlier spoke up disdainfully. Stop pretending. I just told you. And you called me cold-blooded. The priest warned you too, and you said he didn't understand God's mercy. The lawyer stepped forward angrily. I advised you nicely, and you accused me of trying to steal the inheritance. I've never been so insulted in my life. Seeing everyone turning against them, I spoke up. I told you before we came that British nobles don't allow wailing. But one of you was busy chasing men, the other climbing the social ladder. Who listened? Now that you're in trouble, you blame me? Have some shame. Chloe's eyes flashed with calculation. She started lying loudly. Sis, you told me to cry. You said it would make people like me and help me meet nobles. You said ignore anyone who tries to stop me. Now that people are mad, you blame me? What is your problem? Ryan immediately backed her up. Yes, it was all Nancy's idea. She said she knew noble customs best. She told us to cry hard, said it showed respect. My mother-in-law joined in, spitting at me. Exactly. Don't be fooled by her innocent look. It was all her idea. Punish her. It has nothing to do with my son and daughter. I looked at this family with disgust, wishing I could slap myself. I was blind to choose this man and this rotten family. Before I could speak, Prince Charles slammed his hand on the table. I just rescued this lady from your car. She was half dead. You bullied her, and now you frame her? Do you think I'm blind or stupid?